Hey guys, today we're going to try and recreate the classic game Tetris using JavaScript, jQuery, HTML, CSS and all the good stuff. So if you want to read something about Tetris, you can look it up on Wikipedia, but what we're interested from this website for now are some basic rules and some basic stuff about the game. So the game is traditionally played on a grid with 20 rows and 10 columns for each row, and it has 7 type of pieces, and we see that all the type of pieces have 4 blocks: the line, the L shapes, the square, the snaky Z shapes, and this T shape. So first we are going to start, and we have our jQuery included, and we have a table that's going to serve as our game board. And first thing we want to do is add the structure for our board. So we are going to add for each row 10 cells, and we are going to add 20 rows. So we're going to go for I is from 0 to 90 to 20. We are going to add to game one row. So we are going to add tr and close tr. And again, we want to add 10 cells to each game name. And also we're going to add some basic styling to our game board, so we can see what's going on. So we'll add style we're going to add a height of 10 pixels and a width of 10 pixels. If this is too small, we're just going to increase it. So let's see. No, not right. So yeah, of course, tr. So let's make it 15, so it's a little bigger and easier to see. Right, so that looks pretty good for now, and we are going to start right now by defining our pieces. So as we can see, that the line is basically a set of 4 elements, 4 pairs. They are all on the same row, and the column increases by 1 with each element, and the L is first 2 elements on the same column, and then the next 2 are increased by 1 column each, and so on and so forth. And we are going to create a function that can initialize each of these elements. So we are going to go function initiate line, and we're going to tell it where we want to initiate the line. So we'll go return, and we're going to return an array with 4 array elements, and the first one is going to be x, y plus 1, x, y plus 2, x, y plus 3. And then we're going to initiate, we'll call this L1. Let's copy this a few more times. Let's call this L2. Initiate square. Let's go initiate Z1, Z2. Initiate the T-like element. And let's add a few values here as well. So L1 is going to be x, y plus 1, x, y plus 2, x plus 1, y plus 2. So next is going to be xy, xy plus 1, x, y plus 2, and x minus 1, y plus 2. The square is going to be xy, x, y plus 1, x plus 1, y, x plus 1, y plus 1. The z is going to be xy, x, y plus 1, x plus 1, y, and x plus 1, y plus 1. The second z is going to be x, y, x, y plus 1, x plus 1, y plus 1. And the last element here is going to be x, y plus 2. The t element is going to be x plus 1, y, x plus 1, y plus 1, x, y plus 1, and x plus 1, y plus 2. Okay, so now that these functions are done, they don't really do anything because there's no way for us to draw on the board as of right now. So let's color the pieces on the board. So we'll go function, color piece, and let's say for each piece we want to, no, actually we want for each element of the piece we want to add a particular class. So for I is from 0 to piece dot length and increase I, we are going to search for the corresponding row and column. So piece I and 0 is the corresponding column, row, sorry, and piece I and 1 is the column, and we will set the attribute. We'll add a class piece, and this is going to just be background, I don't know, blue or something. And also we need to have a variable called piece, and this is going to be an array. Actually, yeah, it's going to be an array. So let's see if we can initiate our piece and color it on the board. So refresh, and we can go piece is equal to initiate L1 3 4, and then we're going to go color piece. Hey, there we go, we initiated the L1. Let's go piece is initiate square 5 6 and color the square, and we see that the obvious problem right now is that we have more pieces initiated on the board, but only one is the actual valued piece. So whenever we color a piece, we need to remove the coloring from any other cell on the board. So for all the cells, we are going to remove class piece. Okay, so now that we have the piece, we need to initiate one random element at the starting of the game. So we'll create a function that's going to choose a random number, and this function based on that random number will actually go and call one of these functions. So let's go function initiate piece with the coordinate x and y, and we'll go a new variable, piece type is math dot random dot round, actually, because this is going to return a real number with decimal point. So math dot random times 6. So let's see what kind of numbers we get here. And let's call line 0, and we're going to initiate on 4, I guess. Let's see. So 1 2 3 3 2 2 1. So we have random numbers generated here. Okay, so now that we have our random number generated, we can use switch piece type, and case 0 something will return, and break case 1, case 2, case 3, case 4, case 5, case 6. So For each of these values we will have return initiate line x, y. Then for the next one we're going to have initiate L1, then we're going to have return initiate L2, then we'll have initiate square, then we'll have initiate Z1, initiate Z2, and finally initiate T. Okay, so we are initializing the piece and we want to also color the piece. So let's see how that works. We have Z is not defined on line 39. We have yeah, Z is not defined. Yeah, Z X. So yeah, we want piece to be initiate piece. Z is not defined again. Okay, and okay, so obviously the T is being initialized. No, which one? So the L1 is being initialized with x minus 1. This one is being initialized poorly, so we're just going to change this one to x plus 1 and y. There we go. And now they are all being initialized properly. Okay, now we need to have a way to move the pieces forward, and moving the pieces forward this time is simple because they are moving downwards. So each element of our piece will just have its row count increased. So let's have another function, advance piece, and first thing we'll remove the piece class from all the pieces on the board because we want to increase the values. We will go through the piece right now and increase its values for each element, and later we want to see if advancing the piece will result in either hitting the bottom of our board or hitting another piece that is already placed, but that's going to be a bit later. So let's have for I goes from 0 to piece.length, we'll have piece I equals pair piece I and 0 and piece I and 1. And also we want to draw our new board. So let's color the piece again. And let's call this function and see how it works. So advance piece, it doesn't do anything. So our piece is 0, 0, 0. Okay, so piece, oh yeah, of course, +1. So let's see, advanced piece, and yeah, obviously because I increased the y element of the piece as well. So the piece just advances with each call of this function, and because we want to make this a game, we're going to put this function inside an interval, and in this interval we will check, yeah, I think in this interval we'll check if the piece has reached the bottom. Game interval is set interval, new function here, and let's put it on a 400 milliseconds. We'll see how this speed works. First we want to advance the piece, so let's see, yeah, this works for now. So we see that the piece advances, nothing is happening if we move the left and right arrows, but also the piece goes off the board. So we need to check if the piece hits the board. And maybe the best place to check is before we increase the piece's value, because otherwise we are going to increase them and go off the board. So let's check here. So if the next row that the piece will go to is equal to 19, then bottom reached, and for now we'll stop the game just so we can see that it happens at the right moment. So clear interval. So let's see, the piece advances by itself, hopefully until it reaches the ground. Right, so bottom reached and the game was stopped. So now that the bottom has been reached, obviously we don't want to stop the game, we just want to create a new piece. No, first we want to put this piece on the map. So new map value is going to be so we'll just go bottom reached is 1. Bottom reached is 1, else increase the pieces. Actually, we're going to increase the piece in a totally different 4. So this 4 will only happen if the bottom has not been reached. If bottom reached is 0, then we can increase the piece. And this should not have been cut, just copied. So if the piece has been is going to be on the next move on the bottom, then the bottom, let's see how it goes now. Yes, so actually no, we do still need to move the piece right here, but if the bottom has been reached, then for each value we want to mark it on the map, and our map is just going to be an array, I guess. And let's make it a 20 by 10 array. So for I from 0 to 20, let's say map I is equal to an array with 10 zeros. 1, 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So now that the bottom has been reached, we will put on the proper coordinates of the piece value 1 in our map array. So map with coordinates piece I and 0 and piece I and 1 is 1. And now coloring the map will also include coloring the pieces on the map. So we'll also go here and go through a for from 0 to, actually let's copy this, it's faster. So from 0 to 20, and from J for J from 0 to 10, if map with coordinates I and J is equal to 1, let's add map, no, I and J. Let's add the class map, and map is going to be background red. So when we're coloring the piece, we're also coloring the map. We are checking if the bottom has been reached, and let's see how this works. And then because we are coloring pieces on the map, we are also on map board, we're also going to check if the next move is going to hit a piece. on the board. So let's see. And we have an error, zero is undefined. Oh yeah, obviously, because here it should be J, not I. Okay, so now the piece is advancing. Bottom reached, yeah, of course, bottom reached, and it clears interval. So does it add? No, it doesn't add the class. It's still class. That's not right. Okay, and now we want to initiate a new piece. Now, first we want to check if the next element is mapped. So now we want to check if the next element is equal to 1 on the corresponding coordinates in map. We are going to check if map with this coordinate and this, so map the next row but same column, equals 1, then map reached equals 1. So if bottom reached or map reached equals 1, then put the piece on the map, and let's see. We are not going to create interval. We are just going to create a new piece, and piece is going to go and become initiate piece on the same coordinates as before, and hopefully the game will just go on and on. Let's see. So the line is advancing and it should become red when it hits bottom. Oh, but it doesn't. Right. Oh yeah, because we're initiating, right, a piece inside this. So this error was occurring because we're initiating the piece inside the for loop that is going through piece, and obviously that was making but this is not going well because it's going one row below. Yeah, so if the next one will become, then we are not going to increase piece, we're only going to increase piece here. Else increase piece. So we're only going to increase piece if it's going to reach the board, the bottom, or if it doesn't encounters anything. So if the next row would be a piece that was already set, we're not going to increase the piece, advance the piece. Let's take this out from this loop. If map reached is 0, then increase the piece. Let's see. That's much cleaner. Okay. Now we need to get the pieces moving left and right. And moving the pieces left and right is simply just changing the y coordinates. So what we want to do is look for the left and the right keys, and for that we're going to use the key down function and key code function e, and key code is going to be e dot key code or e dot reach, and also we'll have an array of values. Arrow is not an array, so left is 37 and right is 39. Switch on key code. Case arrow dot left move piece -1 because we'll go left, break, and because we want to do a single function, and on right move piece +1 and move piece direction, let's say, is simply going to be a function to increase the y coordinate of the piece. Obviously we need to check if the left or the right border is being reached, and later we want to check if an element on the map is mapped. So if the next position is kind of like we did on the advance, but we're not going for bottom and advancing down, we're going to for left and right. So let's say that for I is from 0 to piece dot length, I plus plus, if piece I and 0 equals 19, so then bottom reached is 1. If piece I and 0 equals 0, left reached. If piece I and 1, actually 1 here as well, because we're checking on the columns. So equals 9, right reached equals 1, and let's initialize these variables. Bottom reached, I'm not sure if you can hear on the background, those are sirens. Left reached, right reached equals 0. So if the bottom was reached, we're not interested in the bottom, because we're already checking for the bottom in the other function. So if left reached is 0, so if we have not reached left and direction is -1, then we can decrease the value of the y coordinate of the piece. So piece I and 1 decreased by 1, and if right reached and direction is 1, we can increase the coordinates. And we want to color the map once again. So let's see how this works. So we don't really need bottom reached right here, I think. And the key code is not defined. 129, yeah, key code capital C. So hey, the piece is only moving left, so right. Okay, so the pieces are moving, and yeah, the pieces are moving and they are advancing properly. The next steps are going to be, okay, so we have a bug here. So right, we did not check if the pieces are touching the map. Okay, actually, let's decrease the speed and see better this, because we need to add a new test. So basically we weren't checking if moving the piece left and right would hit a new piece, so that we would be unallowed to do that. So now I moved too fast. Yeah, you see, so I could move it to places. Yeah, so let's see if left reached and right reached. So we need to see that if moving the piece left or right will result in hitting another piece on the map. So for our so for y piece, if direction is -1, we need to check if direction and map with the coordinate piece I and 0 and piece I and 1 plus 1, no, minus 1 because it's left. So if this element is 1, then we are hitting a piece on the left. Okay. Hit map is 1. And also if the direction is +1 and map with the coordinates piece I0 and piece I1 +1 is 1, then hit map is also 1. If hit map is 0, then we'll do anything else. Right, so let's see. Hit map is not defined. Hit map equals 0. Yeah, let's increase the speed. And let's add a few elements, and now let's see if this one hits. No, so yeah, now it's working because I could not move it to the right. Let's see it to the left. Right. Okay, so the next thing to do now is check if a line is completed, remove it, and add the score to the board, to the score. Let's see when we get, actually, yeah, so like this. Whenever we have a full line, we need to check if it's a full line, remove it, and add it to the scoreboard. Then we need to add a way to rotate our pieces, but we'll do that in the next video because this one is getting a little bit too long. So if you want to see how we are going to finish this Tetris game, get back in a day or two. So thanks for stopping, and we'll see you next time. Bye.